Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast.
Welcome, friends, to episode number 54 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. There are some things in our lives that really give us just so much trouble, yet they also bring us so much joy. And one of those things is people and our relationships with people. And whether we want it to be the case or not, we do have to deal with people and all of their intricacies. And if you've got someone on your mind who you want to forgive and you're having trouble doing so, you'll want to listen into today's episode on forgiveness. When we think about forgiveness, we're often thinking that it has to be something that we just have to do. We're supposed to forgive, we're supposed to let go, we're supposed to move on, we're supposed to just keep living our lives, yet we don't know why it's so hard to forgive others or even ourselves sometimes. And one of the signs that forgiveness may be challenging for you is if you ever feel that you lack compassion towards yourself or that you're overly critical of yourself. If you do feel that you tend to have a hard time forgiving your own behaviors, you might also find that you have that same challenge when you think of extending forgiveness towards other people as well. So that's just one thing to keep in mind as we talk through today's topic. Forgiveness can be complicated because it often feels like we have to admit that perhaps this person or this situation was okay, when you might feel really strongly that it was not okay. When we really want to forgive, though, the reason we're standing at that precipice of wanting to let go is that we know that we just love to stop carrying around what feels like a burden. And whether we realize it or not, every time we remember a situation without forgiveness, it brings back feelings of stress, of frustration, or of fear. And our bodies and our minds continue to play this loop, and it continues to hold this stress, this frustration, this fear. And it begins to become a chronic issue. It can lead to chronic anxiety, pain, stress, and we might have these feelings that we just can't seem to shake off, and we end up trying to avoid the person or the situation so we don't have to ever deal with it. And this is why we desire to forgive. We want the freedom of forgiveness. It becomes something that we start to see as an unlock for us to live a truly free life. I know that if you're ever in a workplace or in your personal life and you have someone there that you feel some kind of resentment towards or some kind of challenge towards, it often creates this difficulty. You don't want to work with a certain kind of person or the certain type of person. You don't want to be around this person in your life. And that may be a really challenging scenario. We may have these situations where it would be really helpful for us to figure out some kind of way to forgive. And that is why we desire it. It's this freedom of living our life as if we had no restrictions in that way. And one of the most beautiful analogies that I've learned about forgiveness is how it's this arrow that hits us twice. And the first arrow is the event itself. The second arrow is when we keep holding on and not forgiving. And if you're ready and willing to forgive and to stop suffering from maybe the second, the third, the fourth arrows that keep hitting us every time we think back to the situation or this person, here are 3 steps and 3 tips that might help you stop this cycle of hurt. So step number 1 is to feel the feelings. You're allowed to feel upset. You're allowed to feel mad, disappointed and grieve over the situation and what happened, you can let yourself see the emotions as they occur. And remember that these emotions are not you. You're allowed to have feelings and not have them take over your life. It's natural for you to feel these things when these kind of things happen. And that kind of thought process allows us to witness this situation with a little bit more objectivity. It allows us to witness it with objectivity that allows for a kind of self-awareness, a curiosity about, I wonder why I felt this way. I wonder why they said these things. I wonder why this thing even happened in the first place. Or to even say, I wonder what I can do from here. And this leads us to the second step, which is to rewrite the story. When we have trouble forgiving, it's because we think that forgiveness somehow means that what they did was okay, or that this whole situation was fine. You aren't condoning behavior when you are forgiving, but you are rewriting the story. When we haven't forgiven, we often feel this emotion of blame. What blame does is it creates this victim mentality where we have little or no power. And if you can see that your power was never for the taking, then you can release this idea of having your power taken from you, and instead create a narrative that I won't give this situation or that person my power. You can say things like, I won't give the situation my power. You can say to yourself, it's not worth it. You can say, I'm 100% responsible for what I do from here on out. You can say, I can create boundaries around this. You could say, I can honor what I feel. I can move forward. I can reclaim my power. All of these phrases are really powerful sayings, things that you can either use as a mantra for yourself or a thought that you have until you actually believe it. And they are really powerful ways to really reconnect with what happened in a way that's healthy. I remember a particularly challenging situation where I didn't want to forgive, yet I really didn't like that feeling of not ever wanting to see that person again. You may never have a choice around that. You may always be seeing these people in your daily lives or in your working lives, whether it's personal or professional. And I didn't want that kind of power over me. And it wasn't like this power, like an ego struggle power, but more this idea that I felt very controlled by something that wasn't me. And I would feel that it was as if I felt weak around a person or a memory even. But what I realized was that this person likely would know the extent of the effect of their behavior because it's all within me. Yet here I was carrying around this burden. And what I did was this next step, and it really helped me immensely. And the third step is this: see them as you. I know this sounds a little bit more of the whole, kind of spiritual and connection of the consciousness, but it really does help. When I can see someone as a flawed human being, just like I am, I reconnect to this sense of oneness. And a lot of our suffering comes from this separation, when we start to see other people as separate from ourselves, when we see people as the enemy, when we see someone else as the other, and that we're all on different teams. And even if the behavior itself is not something you condone, which is really important here, because I want to honor the memory, I want to honor the experience, I want to honor what truly happened. Even that if the experience is not something you condone, what you do from here on out, how you see the other person, how we decide to connect to what happened is entirely our choice. And when we start to see others as ourselves, I realize this: well, I am a human who makes mistakes, and I hurt people, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And so are all the people around us. They are all humans as well, living this human experience, muddling their way through, not always doing the best that they could have. Maybe they tried to do the best they can, and this is what happened. And there are people in our lives also who we still want to be in our lives, and yet we haven't forgiven them. So what do we do then? We see them as us, and we can reconnect to them with a place of love. And I'm not saying love like, everything you did was okay, but this place of realizing that they also suffer too. And we can hold compassion for them. And in holding compassion for them, we can release the suffering and the toxicity that is actually feeding into us every time we hold on to the hurt, every time we feel those second, third, fourth, fifth arrows as they come in. When we do not forgive, and when we are thinking all these negative thoughts about someone else, it's actually this negative current of energy that we're continuously feeding. And we feel it especially in our gut. I think that you might notice this if you start to think about the times when you think about someone or something that has really bothered you and you feel a lot of negativity towards. You feel almost this pain in the pit of your stomach. And that feeling is what happens when we start to think negatively. We think it's just going out at someone else, but in reality, it's this cycle of energy that's actually coming into us as well, and that we're looped in and we're hooked in to these negative currents that actually are really toxic for us. And that's why we feel this chronic stress, this chronic pain, or this chronic sense of anxiety. All right, so here we go. Forgiveness ultimately means letting go. I know this might be difficult, but it means letting go of the past. It means letting go of a narrative where we have no power. It means letting go of the arrows that keep wounding us. It means letting go of chronic stress, letting go of the need to be right. That's a really important one. And instead, we prioritize our well-being. So we're not letting go for no reason. We're letting go so that we can make space for something even better. We prioritize a narrative that serves us. We prioritize a path forward that comes not from a place of anger and vengeance and resentment, but from a steady determination to live full and healthy lives. There is a beautiful Ho'oponopono prayer that is so simple yet universal. And it's this: I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And it honors the idea that we are all one. And when we feel negativity, when we feel harm, it is also connected and coming from us as well, which is why we suffer when we don't forgive. And this is so important, this next thing that I'm going to tell you. Forgiveness doesn't have to come immediately. A lot of times we're just like, how come we just can't do it right now? I just want to forgive immediately. It may take time. So give yourself some grace. But until then, you can keep silently repeating this prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. You can say this to yourself silently. You can say this silently to the strangers that you meet, to the people you know, and maybe, just maybe, when you're ready, you can say this to that person or the situation that you want to forgive. So I hope this served you. This topic, I know, is something that is on the minds and hearts of many of us, and is one of the most beautiful places of release in our life, when we can really release this, when we really feel this, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, and actually feel the release that happens when we forgive. It's such a beautiful thing and such a weight lifted. So I hope this for all of you, for any of the situations or peoples in your lives where you may hold a little bit of this grudge towards. All right. If you loved this topic and you are in this space of transition and figuring out what's next in your life, In this month's intuitive leadership coaching, we'll be covering how to create a compelling vision for your next 5 years through a virtual one-day retreat over the weekend. So each month, we will break down topics such as these to answer the big questions. We meet together as a group and help take action so that we move forward with clarity and peace. And if you're interested in being a part of this beautiful program, you can go to www.mayemson.com/contact and you can learn more and fill out the information there. So I wish you all a most beautiful week, a lovely, lovely rest of your day, and I will see you next time.
Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. You'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.